My friends, so in the last video we have discussed about variables and also how you can get some values from our users. Now in this video we are going to change our learning process, and also we will include some really interesting stuff. So instead of learning all these topics or all the Kotlin fundamentals by explaining them in Word or show you some really silly examples, we are going to add some interesting stuff inside our code. So we are going to give you some questions and tasks that you need to finish, and while you are solving them, you are going to learn all the Kotlin fundamentals. So here we are in this video are going to learn about if-else and how we can use them, how we can take control of our code. And in order for us to do so, we need to finish this task. Once you finish it, you are going to master the if-else block. So let's get started. So we need to create a program that take the age of the user as an input, okay? And check for it. If it's more than 18, we are gonna tell him welcome to our app. Otherwise, we are gonna tell him that you are not allowed to use our application. Now, how we are gonna do so? In order for us to finish this task, we need to take it step by step. So you create a program that take the age of the user as an input, and to do so I'm going to create a variable called age, assign the value of it to be the read line, okay, like so. So this line here finishes the first step in our code or in our task. Right now let's move forward. We need to check if the age of our user is more than 18 or less than 18. Now to do so, we are going to use the if-else. Now let me show you that in action. So I'm gonna type if, and here I can in parentheses I can add whatever condition I want. In this case, I am going to compare the age if it is more than 18, okay. I am going to include these two brackets, okay, and if this is true, if our age is more than 18, the code that we are going to add it right here will run. Anything that you will include in these two brackets will run. So let me give you here, do anything you want, okay, you want like so. So as you can see how we can add it like this. Now what if this code or this condition right here is false, if it's not correct? Well, we are allowed to insert the else case like so. So if this is true, then this code between these two brackets will run. Otherwise, we are going to run this else right here. So one of these two blocks, the first one, the second one of them will get executed, not both of them. So you need to be aware of this thing right here. So let me copy it and paste it. Now the code or the compiler will check our age. If it's more than 18, then it's gonna run this code right here. If it's not, or it's less than 18, we are going to run this code right here. Make sense? So we are finishing the second step also. Now let's move forward a bit. Now if you try to run this code, it will give you an error, because this read line right here, it will take the value from the user, convert it to a string, store it in this variable right here, right? Now we are not allowed to compare between two different data types. So if you have a string here you must have a string. If you have an integer here, you must have an integer right here. So we cannot compare between two different data types. So that's why we have a problem right here, because the age is a string because of the read line, and 18, it's a number, it's an integer. So that's why we have a problem right here. And in order for us to fix it, we are going to convert whatever going to be entered or stored from the age right here. We are going to convert it to an integer To do so, we are going to type integer like so. So integer dot value of, here we can pass it the read line because we want to convert whatever going to be entered by the user. And let me clarify this a bit more. So if the user enter 8 like this, the read line will take it and put it inside a string like this. Oops. Okay, so this is the same number, but this is with a different value or different type, sorry. The exact same value with a different type. So here we have int, here we have string. Make sense? So that's why once the read line take an integer, it's going to convert it automatically to a string. That's why we have to revert it back to an integer. Okay, so like this. So we are the first place we are going to get an integer. The read line will convert it to a string, but the integer dot value of will revert it back to integer. So this is how it is going to work. Now we need to get rid of this thing, of course. Now this is how you can finish your code. So I'm just gonna print ln just to clarify it. We are going to tell him welcome to the app. Okay. Otherwise, we are going to print ln you are not allowed. Like so. So if we run our application now, it should work just fine. And we need to, of course, to wait up. Oops, we have a problem right here. Yeah, of course, because if you remember that the read line, it's not been supported by the online compiler, so that's why the value here of age, it will be null. Okay, and here we are comparing null to an integer, so that will make an error. But if you run this code on a real code editor, then this will work just fine. Okay, so here what I will do, I will just get rid of this and pass it just a static number like 15. And let's run our code once again, and we should get you are not allowed. And indeed we are getting you are not allowed to use our application. If we make it 19, which is more than 18, we should get welcome to the app, and indeed our application worked just fine. Now let's take a recap of what we did. First of all, from this video and next, what we are going to do, we are going to show you a real examples. Why would instead of explaining that in words. Now in this video, if you take this code right here back like so, if you take the read line, this one right here, if you take a look here on this code, we have put the variables, the read line, the converting between data types, and also the if else right here, which is our new topic. We have put everything in one example. So this is really the idea behind this is the idea in my mind. I will put everything in one example just to make sure that you are understand everything in a big picture, not only in a real silly examples. Okay, so this is our lesson. Hopefully that makes sense. Of course, we will use the if else more and more in the next few videos. So if you didn't understand it, do not worry. We are going to get back to this point right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you in the next one.